for whatever fitness level you are, whatever type of walk you want to do, you'll probably find something to suit you around this hotel. I'm on my way to Mushroom Rock at the moment, which you can see behind me in the distance. And it is quite a steep climb that you have to do, but it's a well-defined path the whole way. A little bit rocky, but nothing super technical. There are some parts where you don't want to slip and fall, but if you just take it slow and don't push too hard on the uphills with all the stairs, you will get here. It's actually, in terms of distance, not all that far. So you can pretty clearly see the path that you walk on to get to the point where I am. It comes through the proteas there. And before you know it, you're up at Mushroom Rock. It is a little bit exposed, definitely. Like you are walking on a flat path, but next to a relatively significant drop. Definitely don't want to trip or lose your footing or slip here. It's a long way down. And there's Mushroom Rock. You can actually go right underneath the mushroom part of the Mushroom Rock. One thing that I would definitely recommend for this particular trail is to bring enough water. There's not a lot of shade. It's a pretty doable hike, but just go slowly and the distance is not that far. You eventually will get there. Just don't give up. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to continue on past Mushroom Rock. So I went through the little hole in Mushroom Rock and I'm following the path up to a ridge path, and I'm then going to link up with the path that goes down towards Riven Falls and Doreen Falls to go back. That is quite a nice hike to do, I think, as a long day hike. This is the gully that you want for Riven Falls and Doreen Falls. You can just make out the hotel down there at the bottom, but of course if the weather was not as nice as it is today and there was a lot of mist, you wouldn't be able to see any of this. So if you do want to do longer day hikes in the Drakensberg, you really need to be confident about navigation and you need to take a map with you and a GPS device. I think that those are Riven Falls. I must admit I'm a little bit hazy about which one is Doreen Falls and which one is Riven Falls, but I think these ones are Riven Falls. I've already started the descent now back towards the hotel, but I think I'm going to stop and eat my packed lunch. Riven Falls is at the top of this little valley that you're looking down at now. Riven Falls is over there. I found Riven Falls and it is absolutely amazing. So going up to Riven Falls, there's this scrambly section right here, and it looks intimidating, but it's actually just like a very big staircase. It's really not as bad as it looks. Here's another bit of a scrambly section. I'm sort of standing in the middle of the third scrambly section that I've encountered coming down from Riven Falls back towards the hotel. So I've just come across here, and here I am. And then I'm going to go down there. What do you know? It's an actual ladder. Very short, like 2.5 meters maybe. This is the point where the two paths to Riven Falls and Doreen Falls diverge. The path on the right goes to Doreen Falls. The path on the left goes to Riven Falls. And behind me, the path goes back to the hotel. If you're trying to find the start of any of these hiking trails and you're a little bit lost inside the hotel, just go to the sundial, which is in the outdoor area sort of near the dining hall, and there are a whole lot of signs there for just about every day hike pointing in different directions. And I should just mention that I'm not being sponsored by Cathedral Peak or paid by Cathedral Peak or given any free stuff by Cathedral Peak. I just came and stayed here and I really enjoyed it. If you want to do any one of the day hikes that are featured in this video, then you should also be aware that Cathedral Peak staff take guided hikes from Cathedral Peak, and it's free to go with for guests. You just have to sign up. And they go to a different destination every day. This is the path heading off towards Lake Jared, and then the Fern Forest, and actually One Tree Hill if you turn left. On the way to the Fern Forest, you do have to negotiate this river crossing, which it doesn't really look like it has stepping stones, but I am going to walk a little bit further upstream just to see if there is some better place to cross where I don't actually have to get my feet wet. Otherwise, I might come back and just hop across here, maybe. I crossed the river over here, which is just a little bit upstream from where the path comes out. It is extremely dry right now, so if there has been some rain, this river might not actually be safe to cross at all. So you should definitely just use your discretion when you get to this point in the path. If you're looking for the place where the Fern Forest path continues on the other side of the river, it's just on the other side of this little low wall over here. Pretty soon after the first river crossing, you cross back over the river again. Again, if the river was a bit fuller here, I think you might have to get your feet wet. Here is the split between Fern Forest and One Tree Hill. One Tree Hill continues up the little ridge. Fern Forest continues down into the valley. It is absolutely beautiful. Even though the river is so low at the moment, there's all this moss growing on everything and beautiful trees which give a lot of shade, which is quite nice because it's quite hot right now. If you don't mind river crossings, then I would recommend doing this hike. It's really worthwhile, and it would make such a beautiful lunch spot to come and sit here by the water, and there's even pools to swim in. The hike up to Baboon Rock is fairly tame right in the beginning. You just follow the tarred road away from Cathedral Peak Hotel, and then you take a left turn over a little suspension bridge onto the golf course. Then you kind of go through the golf course up past the back of the clubhouse, and that's where the actual trail up to Baboon Rock starts. And initially it's just steep and a bit rocky, and that goes on for quite a while up until you get to the sort of first little outcrop of the ridge that Baboon Rock is on. And then you start traversing along the left-hand side of that ridge, and there's one fairly scary scramble. Well, I found it kind of scary. And then you traverse all the way along that ridge past Baboon Rock, all the way to the end of the ridge, and then you kind of turn back on yourself and you can walk along the top of that ridge until you're right on the top of Baboon Rock. But the bit where you walk along the top of the ridge also has a couple of scrambly sections. It's like some slight exposure here. Don't look down.
Oh, you come down this little bit here, and the thing is that it's quite drop right over there. You know, you're going there. Yeah.
And if you want a much tamer but still really, really beautiful walk, then I would recommend going to Lake William, which is along the same route as Baboon Rock, but it doesn't go up the slopes. It just sticks to the flatter area at the bottom, and you come to a beautiful little lake, which is where I'm sitting right now. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you'd like to see more from me, then you can click on my channel name to see videos that I've made in the past, or you can subscribe to my channel to see videos that I'm going to make in the future.